Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards coming at you LIVE live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios out here on the plush, secure, beautiful compound of WYAB in Flora, Mississippi. That's 103.9, pumping across the airwaves, getting ready for that big 50,000 watt upgrade. Oh, it's going to be great. We're going to be going border to border, east to west, dang near 100 miles in both directions, north and south. It will make us the largest non-music platform in the state. That's right. As far as single antenna stations go, not people that have 12 radio stations that all play the same thing, but as far as single radio stations with one tower that doesn't play music, WYAB will be number one. Hey, look, I don't want to hear any nickety knacking about it either. I don't want to hear any yeah, but Clay, but you said, but non-music, but non-this. Hey, look, y'all are the ones that celebrate every time you put the first gay, black, whatever on something. The first woman that's black that did it on a Tuesday wearing a black shirt with brown boots. I mean, y'all are the ones that celebrate all that stuff. Those little incremental victories. We gonna celebrate. We gonna celebrate. I don't hear nothing. If the only asterisk is that it's the most powerful non-music station, I'm gonna take that. That makes us the most powerful talk radio station in the state of Mississippi. Talk is way more powerful than music. Talk radio is still one of the highest grossing, most profitable platforms in America when it comes to media. It's because live content, local content still sells. You know why music stations are failing everywhere? Because if you're watching online, our telephones. That's why music stations are failing everywhere. Why would I sit back and listen to any of these conglomerate radio stations in Mississippi? Why would I want to hear a DJ that's not from here, that just records little 5-minute increments? Now, I'm not hating on the DJs. I would do it too. Why would I do that? You know, the stations that work here, the music stations that work, are the ones that have local morning shows. I'll call them out because it's a compliment, right? I think US 96.3. I know my buddy Nate West has left, but their morning show, people tuned in for Nate and Tracy and Hannah because that's good local content. They can call into the show. Same reason people listen to this show. If I want to listen to music, why the blue hell would I cut on the radio and wait for a song that I want to hear to come on? I mean, does anybody still call radio stations and actually request songs anymore? I was thinking about this the other day. Talk about being a loser. If you still sit at home or in your car or wherever, and you're older than, I don't know, 10, and you're calling a radio station to request a song, the only people that do that better be the band that wants to hear their song on the radio. And we know that local radio doesn't play local music. They just don't do it. I mean, I think that the new Rock 93 station has a local hour that once a week or something like that. But generally speaking, local bands ain't getting played locally. Well, and for good reason too, because the overwhelming majority of local bands, they just ain't got it. There's a lot of great local musicians. Don't get the two confused. There's not a lot of great local bands that play original music. Let me make sure I get all that right. Not saying there ain't some. Shout out to Storage 24, just off the top of my head, the Stevens brothers. There's a few, but there's not a lot. We used to have such a great live local rock scene here. So many great local bands. that actually had good original music, but also understood that they had to play covers if they wanted to get booked in clubs. I didn't mean to get on a rant about this morning. I was just going to talk about the 50,000 watt upgrade for 2 seconds and jump straight down this rabbit hole. But circling back to the, well, you know what? Actually, not circling back. I want to finish this thought about bands. Man, in the 90s, and I'm not even talking about like the 80s when we had great bands like Charade and Lillian Axe and so many other Vanderveer, not Vanderveer, Vanderveer from Jackson. Vandenberg was the other band that had the Adrian Vandenberg, the guitar player for Whitesnake. I love them too. But we had so many great bands here. Cyrus. I took bass lessons from the bass player of Cyrus. He's still a good dude. I can't even remember his dang name off the top of my head. But I ran into him years and years later, selling him a car at Ellis Autoplex, and we put 2 and 2 together somehow or another in our conversation. And I was like, man, I have been looking to reconnect with you for 30 something years. I was like 14 years old, and my mom used to take me to this guy's house to take bass lessons. That's right. I can play bass. I don't want to join your band though. My mom used to take me to his house to take bass lessons. And I always remember the guy, and I always remember what band he was in. And I remember he had this cool like Gibson Explorer bass that was white and had some black stripes on it. Just burned into my brain. And I stumbled across a video of Cyrus playing at a Battle of the Bands at the Armory on the fairgrounds back in the day. And it was a big concert. Charade was all the great local bands, and they were opening for Lillian and Axe. I always butcher saying Lillian and Axe. It's like, is it Lillian or is it Lillian? Like, how do you roll the Lillian? Anyway, Lillian Axe, still one of my all-time favorite bands. I know they get tired of hearing it. I know Stevie does, but they're the band that should have been so much bigger than they were. Because talent-wise, song-wise, they were so much better than the overwhelming majority of their 80s hair metal peers. But, man, and then you roll into the 90s, and Charade turned into Southern grunge. Shout out to Dirty D and Rob and all those guys, Chris Painter, JJ, all that crew. And then you got into the 2000s, and you had so many great bands in this area. Blindside, which became Storage 24, Max Cherry, Absence of Concern, Geronimo Rex. What was the name of the boys from up there in Canton? Something Pig, maybe. I can't remember. There was a good hard rock band up in Canton. The lead singer came off like a Sully Erna replica. I don't want to say a knockoff because he was really good. Was it Blind something? Not Blind Pig. That was a bar. Anyway, there was a really good band out of the Canton area. There was just so many great bands, and all those kind of bands have shifted now to like the local. When I say those kind of bands, not the members necessarily, but the same energy now is more like country. That's the thing now. But I mean, it was hard rock in the early 2000s. It was nu metal. We had a great nu metal scene here in the Jackson area. And a lot of those weren't nu metal. A lot of them were like college rock. But either way, like Max Cherry and Geronimo Rex, they weren't hard rock by any means, but they were just good bands. They drew a good crowd. It's amazing as a bar owner, you looked at a band and you based what was good and what wasn't on how many butts they put in seats. They're like, oh, the club's packed. This band's great. What are they playing? I don't know. They're great though. The bar's full. I'd love to get back to seeing that. You got a couple bands around here that draw really well. Storage 24 still doing it. Shout out to Fred and Matt and that whole team. Let's see here. The Stevens brothers. I've been been singing their praises for a while now. They're just getting bigger and bigger, as I predicted. Within 5 years, they're going to be selling out, headlining the Brandon Amphitheater. Mark my words. If they do what it takes on their end and they put in the work, they'll be headlining the Brandon Amphitheater within 5 years. And if they're headlining it, they'll be headlining them all over the country, is my point. Let's see here. Miles Flat does really well. Burnham Road. Shout out to TJ and Laura Lee. So you got a few bands up and coming that are doing well. There's a couple other bands out there. I can't remember everybody's names. There's one with my buddy, old Jimmy, that used to own Pops. He's in a band playing bass. They draw really well. There's a band with Barbie Bassett's husband. They do really well. They draw a crowd. So you got some out there that are doing good, but they're cover bands, which Nothing wrong with that at all. I love a good cover band. But hey, do you still let's question of the day. Do you still listen to local radio or do you just use your phone when it for music? For music, do you still listen to local radio? Or do you just go to your iTunes or Pandora or XM or whatever? I use in my vehicle, I actually listen to XM. So I guess I'm going to quasi contradict myself. If I want to hear a song, I'll just pick it on my phone. There's no radio stations here that play what I want to hear. It's the problem. And maybe if they did, maybe if we, like the Rock 93, they're not real. They're not playing the kind of rock consistently that I really want to hear. It's a rock station. It's newer stuff. It's better than what we had, but they're playing some stuff that I could care less about, and the signal ain't that strong either, but neither here nor there. Now, if we had a rock station up here like CPR on the coast, 97.9, yes, I would listen to local rock on the radio, but we don't. But they're not bad. I ain't hating. It's not a knock. They're just the format they chose is modern rock, but it ain't hard. It ain't consistent hard rock. They think playing a Soundgarden song or a Linkin Park song makes them edgy, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know if I need to hear Dust on a Bottle again or Whiskey in a Jar or whatever on Metallica, but I digress. Let's take a break, come back. Let's jump into it. Unplanned segment there. I want to talk about the race riot that popped off yesterday at TSU, or maybe it was 2 days ago, but it broke the internet yesterday. Tennessee State University black students had their worldview questioned. They felt like it was a hate crime. It was traumatic for them. It was dramatic even. 2 white guys with red hats on set up a table and said, "Debate me." They said DEI should be banned. They said all illegal immigrants should be kicked out of the country. And an absolute race riot popped off, and it sounded like an Applebee's or a movie theater on a Friday night with a bunch of cackling hens. Oh, reminds me why I don't go out. We're going to tap into it. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching online, we are streaming worldwide at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, and X, and on Rumble at Clay Edwards Show and Stunning HD. If you like the shirt I'm wearing, the brand new black FAFO with the American flag on one sleeve, my logo on the other. They're on sale now. Buy FAFO.com. We'll be right back after this break. Live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. Get your free testosterone screening scheduled today. Text Clay to 601-800-5130.
1039 WYAB.
UrgeVet Emergency Vets Madison has been serving your pets for 5 years now. From late night emergencies to
let's see
worries,
here, man.
We have been here caring
let's see
for
what
your
the chat
pets
is
when your
saying.
regular vet isn't available.
Yeah, cut that down. Let's see what the chat's saying. My boy says, I liked Rot 93.9 back in the day. Yeah, I did too. I miss old Brad Stevens, man. I still talk to him once in a blue moon. Barbershop Bob says, I don't listen to music on the radio. My radio stays tuned in to WYAB, but occasionally I listen to Gerald Jeppard. Who is that, Barbershop Bob? Oh, what I was saying about XM, I listen to XM really for one reason. Two, they have a 24/7 wrestling news station now. And y'all know I love wrestling. I don't watch it as much, but I love keeping up with it. So they got a 24-hour wrestling news station. Now, it just used to be a show called Busted Open. Well, they've given the whole show, the whole radio, the whole station to Busted Open. And they have wrestling content the whole day. So I listen to that. I listen to the Patriot channel, which is a conservative talk. They got some guys on there I like a lot. They have Breitbart Radio that's tied into it. So I like listening to that. And Eddie Trunk does his, he plays a little music, but he does more of like a talk show. And he interviews rock stars and 80s hair metal people a lot. And I really like listening to Eddie Trunk. And I'll put it on Hair Nation every now and then too, because they'll play songs that I forget about. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that song, and I'll add it to my playlist. So I don't know. It ain't worth $30 a month that I'm paying for it. You know, every few months you got to threaten to cancel XM, and they'll give you like 6 months for $2.99 a month. Which reminds me, I need to pretend I'm going to cancel my XM subscription today and try to get it for cheaper again. That's what I do every couple of months with all my apps. If you'll go into like Amazon Prime and like all those channels on Amazon that you can subscribe to, Hulu, all that crap, Netflix, and you threaten to cancel, you'll get like the next 3 months for half price. Even if you don't have any intentions on canceling, it's really the best thing to do to save money. Like I said, I do it all the time. I'm cheap when it comes to these apps, but I will keep my app for $2.99 a month. Like Apple TV, there's a show that I keep meaning to finish watching. Your Friends and Neighbors, I think is what it's called, which reminds me I need to start watching it again. But I've got my Apple subscription now, like $2.99 or $3.99 a month for the next 3 or 4 months. And I don't think since I renegotiated it that I have cut it back on. Anyhow, let's go back to your comments. Dalton says he listens to mostly Apple Music. Yep. Oh, okay. I see what you said, Gerard Gippard. Sorry, Gerard Gibbert. I was like, who's Gerard Gippard? Yeah, Gerard Gibbert's good, man. I like Gerard. He's a buddy of mine too. Gerard's good people. Gerard's good people. I like him a lot. Good morning, Ryan Wynn. How you doing, brother? Ricky Gray said he canceled his XM. Chad Edwards canceled his XM. Jill says Spotify in my ears via Scott's all day while I work. Let's see here. Julie says, what does BB husband play? I think he plays bass. Talking about Barbie Bassett's husband. Yeah, he plays bass, I think. On my game, stay on it. Says, I have Apple Music. I stopped listening to local radio 10 years ago. All right, we're getting ready to come back from break. I got to be quiet real quick. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB, streaming worldwide in stunning HD. And you can tune in, tap into the conversation in the live chat at SaveJXN if you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or Rumble. I think if you're watching on Rumble, I don't know that it lets you tap into the conversation on the screen. So if you want to be a part of the live chat, you need to be watching on one of the other 3 apps, X, Facebook, or YouTube. I prefer you all watch on YouTube. And hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. This segment brought to you by friends at A1 Gear and Auto. Be sure to swing by today if you're having any automotive issues, or heck, maybe you just need some basic maintenance done. Time for brakes, time for an oil change, any of that stuff, they got you covered. Torn something up bigly, need a water pump, anything like that, alternator, they got you covered. What they specialize in is your ring and pinion. So if you're having any problems with the gears in your front end and or rear end or 4-wheel drive, they got you covered. They're the specialist. They're the pro. They're the go-to, the industry leader in that area. So most of the shops around here, they send their work. They outsource their ring and pinion work to A1 Gear and Auto. Cut the middleman out, go straight to the source. That is how you save a little money and get the work done yourself. Save time, save money. Holler at Justin and the team today. A1 Gear and Auto, where it's fixed right on time, fixed right every time, and fixed. Well, I got it all right. Fixed right on time, fixed right every time, and fixed on budget every time, unless otherwise noted. Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Big white building, big red sign. You can't miss it right there if you're heading south on 49. If you passed Gunner Road, you went too far. It's right there on your right. A1 Gear and Auto. All the Jeep folks love A1 Gear and Auto. You can't ride by without seeing a half dozen Jeeps in the parking lot at any given time. They know. Tear it up. Let Justin fix it. All right, man. Let's jump back into it. We're live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. Let me get my notes pulled up here. And I want to talk about this TSU, that's Tennessee State University. These ungrateful pricks. MAGA, they wouldn't even have funding if it wasn't for MAGA, if it wasn't for my Lord and Savior Donald Trump in his first administration, permanently funding these HBCUs, which now I'm just beginning to think that was a terrible mistake. They're racist operations. They're racist breeding grounds. They're black supremacist, black Klan breeding grounds. They need to be defunded immediately, starting with Tennessee State University. Why do we even have segregated schools still? Can somebody answer that question for me? Why do these things even still exist? Gross. So anyhow, I guess we could show the video. The people online, the people watching on the radio, people listening on the radio aren't going to be able to see it. But you have these conservative content creators doing the Charlie Kirk style, set up a table, debate me bro stuff. And it's called Fearless, the Fearless Debating Tour. And like I said, they went to the HBCU Tennessee State, and basically a race riot popped off with a bunch of kids who you can tell just from their zesty, we'll call it, behavior, that they absolutely were raised in a house full of single moms and aunties. Not a man anywhere around. Half the guys in the group that were trying to chase these guys off and getting violent with them were wearing pajamas and shower caps. That's zesty. Definitely big single mom energy right there for sure. Let me pull a couple of these up here, and we'll get into it. And I'm just curious, what's y'all's thoughts on this? Where does Clay Nation lie on this? Should we defund these HBCUs if they can't get in line? And I'm gonna tell you what's even more disgusting was Tennessee State's official statement after all this. Now let me pull my screen up here, and I'm gonna show y'all. Now I did a live stream last night after I worked out. I was supposed to start it at 7:00, then 8:00, and it was finally 8:30 when I finally got online. And we talked about this online. This is not going to translate to the radio well, the video, because it's just a bunch of cackling and it sounds like an Applebee's on a Friday night, or a movie theater on a Friday night when you're just trying to enjoy a nice movie with the old lady, and you sit in front of a bunch of little thug kids, or they ain't never getting behind me. I go sit on the top wall. If I can't sit on the top wall, I ain't giving my back to nobody. So you won't ever find me with my back to anybody. Anyhow, it sounds like a movie theater on a Friday night around here, because of course they can't act right and be quiet. Let's see here. All right, so they had a couple signs up. That's the wrong ones there. Here's the ones they had. No, that's the wrong ones. I'm getting there. Here it is. Here's the signs that they had up. Let me see if you can see that on the screen there. All right, here we go. We got it. We have the technology. They had two signs. There's two white guys. They're both wearing red "Make America Great Again" hats. Why wouldn't you want to make America great again? Why would you not want to make it great again? Oh, I know, because you got the 501c3 hustle that Shad White and I talked about yesterday. The 100 Black Men of Mississippi, the Doty Foundation, all those. Yeah, they don't want America great. If America's great, they don't have any use for funding. Anyhow, the signs read, "DEI should be illegal." Agreed. The other sign said, "Deport all illegals now. Let's talk." Well, why would you not want to deport the illegals? If the first thing somebody did as a guest in your house was stole something, would you let them stay in your house? If the first thing they did, I mean, they come in the back door instead of the front. You know, Clay Edwards ain't no back door entry. We don't do the back door around here. Permanently closed is my back door for entry. Anyway, if somebody broke in your house and the first thing they did was steal something, would you not want to kick them out? I mean, real talk. Talk to me. Let's talk. Would you not want to kick them out if the first thing they did was steal something? Why should that be any different for the United States of America? The first thing these guys thought to do when they broke into our country was break into our country. Like the second they stepped foot into this great country, it was breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. Kick them out. Come back in the front door and let's talk. Bring your ID with you. DEI, call or stay on hold. I got you. I know you're there. DEI, the other sign reading DEI should be illegal. The fact that one of the greatest wool pulling over of the eyes that's happened in the last 5-6 years is the white liberal, as Malcolm X said, the devil, as the white liberal being able to convince black people that DEI benefits them. DEI, and you can do your own independent research here. I highly encourage you to do your own research. DEI solely, overwhelmingly benefits the homos, the global homo agenda, and white liberal women. So gays and white liberal women, not blacks. But blacks have kind of fallen on the sword as the poster children for DEI because they used black people to push DEI like, oh, because of slavery, because of racism, because of all these oppression things that have happened to black people over the years, we got to push DEI. But it really doesn't benefit black people. We're just going to make them be the poster child for it so we can get it through, because if you're against DEI, you're against black people. If you're against black people, you're a racist. So you got to be for DEI. It's like, don't Black Lives Matter? Well, you don't think Black Lives Matter? No, actually, I don't. Not until they do. When Black Lives matter enough for black people to stop taking black lives, then we can talk about Black Lives Mattering. But until then, I don't want to have a conversation about Black Lives Mattering as a national agenda. Anyway, so yes, I believe DEI should be banned 100%. And I believe we should deport all illegals. Let's take a call real quick. Let's see what our caller thinks here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Oh, wow. Caller, if you have your radio on, please cut it down. Caller, you're going to have to call back. We got a bad connection. Let's take our break. The phone line is 601-879-0002. I'd like to hear from y'all today. Just remember, no private calls, no blocked numbers will be answered. This is the Clay Edwards Show. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. When we come back, we're going to play some of the audio from this whole Tennessee State MAGA battle royale that turned into a race riot up there in Tennessee a couple days ago. Don't go anywhere. Rip the knob off if you're listening on the radio. Hit the share button if you're watching online. All right. Let's see here. Let me quit sharing the screen so I can talk. Pull y'all's chats back up. All right. Let's see what you guys got to say. Let's see what you got to say. Julie says, I need to listen to live from Studio 6B on Rav Real America's Voice. I'd check it out. I'm always looking for good content. Man, I see all y'all's posts about music and stuff. I'm going to skip kind of to where we're at right now, but I love all the comments about XM and Apple playlists and all that stuff. All right, my buddy Greg disagrees with me. He says, I disagree. I have a lot of friends at Tougaloo and JSU. The schools have more diverse students with kids from all over the world. Xavier in New Orleans is one of the top pharmacy schools in the world. Yeah, man, but they got to quit being racist. They got to stop it. I think we need to drop the whole HBCU thing altogether. You know, I think we do. I don't think the schools can exist, but they just need to be schools. They don't need to be HBCUs. They just need to be schools. You know, no minority scholarships for one race or another. Just go to the damn school. Be a traditional school. We need to drop all this race-related nonsense. Equality is equality. Separation is not equality. Segregation is not equality. Even if you self-segregate, that ain't equality. Miss Jonah says it's absolutely disgusting. I agree. Greg says TSU been broke for years, though. Yep, they need to be a lot broker. They need to have their government funding snatched. Ryan says the liberals would say that's mine. What's mine is yours. They would, wouldn't they? What's mine is mine, and what's yours is also mine's. Linda, good morning. Thank you for watching. Nitty says they FAFO. The TSU did FAFO. The TSU students did FAFO because they look absolutely ridiculous on the national stage. And when we come back, we're going to play the video, and I'm going to show y'all Tennessee State's response, which is the most enabling, coddling, disgusting response they possibly could have had once you watch the video. Stickered says the NAAB, please spare us. Oh, yeah, that's talking to the folks there. Junk says, good morning, Clay Nation. Billy says, I agree, Clay. Greg comes back, says, minority scholarships are gone. They should be. I think people are fed up with all this, man. People are just fed up with this game that we're forced to play. And I've just opted out. I have opted out of continuing to play this race game with people. See here, Brian watching on YouTube says, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, and attend Tennessee State and still got PTSD. Brian, I saw you watching my live stream last night. I didn't get to read your comment, but thank you for watching this morning. Appreciate you. Julie, let me check my schedule here, make sure I'm not running over. We're back on. Crap. Hey, we're back live. I'm sorry. I was reading the comments there during the live stream and lost track of time. My apologies. But let's do this. Let me pull the chats off the screen. We're live here on 103.9 FM WYAB. Man, I get it. That's why people are like, Clay, why do you always put the commercial breaks on the live streams and don't chat with people? Well, that's exactly why. Because I get wrapped up into the chats and I lose track of time. And next thing I know, there's dead air on the radio because I forgot to hit the button coming back from the break. But hey, you'll have that on big jobs. Hey, look, you guys, please consider my friends over at Tri-County Tree Service for any of your tree cutting needs. We got a little rain yesterday. The ground's wet. Some old dry limbs probably started to fall. We've kind of had a little drought going on here. If you have any tree service needs, need to get a tree cut down, need a tree trimmed, they can do it all at Tri-County Tree Service today. Reach out to Russ Borland and his team and let them take care of all of your tree trimming needs. Their phone number is 601-940-5499. 601-940-5499. That's Tri-County Tree Service. Give them a shout. Tell them you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, man. Let me pull the video back up here, and I'm gonna make your ears bleed this morning with the sound of all these cackling hens. at Tennessee State, all upset that 2 white guys had the audacity to wear red hats and ask 2 simple questions on their campus. They acted like they were, I mean, some of the comments I've seen online, y'all, they acted like they were infiltrated by a roving band of Klansmen that were there to assault black students. I mean, just their sensibilities were attacked. Their safe space was violated. It really is comical if it wasn't so sad. All right, so I think we got our first video here of the cackling, the great cackling. Let's see if I can get the power in. All that racket. There ain't no way any of them can understand what the other person's saying. Let's play some more here.
Right. What would?
All right, that was early on before everything popped off. There's no sense in that one. Let's see here. Here's more.
Yeah, they threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top. Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
Arrest. They just tried to hit the car.
So,
Hitting the car. Whoa! That was loud.
what's it starts off with a guy walking with one of the participants walking with his MAGA on with a selfie stick, and hundreds of angry black students following him, cackling and stuff. They've stolen their signs because they're thieves, and they've written BLM hate symbols all over their signs that we're asking their questions with, and they wrote BLM on it. And it's like this. It's almost like they don't know that BLM was 2 Marxist gay black studs that took all the money and bought a bunch of mansions in California and didn't save not a single life. Not a single black life mattered as they were getting paid. The only black lives they was worried about was their own. Google it. It's true. So they chase them to their vehicles, and then they're beating their cars. And this ain't like a boy band trying to safely get away from their fans here. This is a couple of white folks trying to get away from an angry black mob. This reminds me of the BLM summer of mostly peaceful protest, when innocent people were trying to drive through intersections and were drug out of their cars and beaten, like Reginald Denny was in the OJ riots in California. Not the OJ riots, what was the other guy? The Can't We All Just Get Along? Rodney King, the Rodney King riots of the 90s. You remember the truck driver, Reginald Denny, I believe was his name. He got pulled out of his truck at that intersection and basically murdered there on TV by angry black mob. That's what this reminds me of fully. It could have gotten ugly real quick at the campus police or security hadn't shown up and tried to escort these guys off. And keep in mind, I mean, these guys didn't show up to fight. They didn't show up to lynch anybody. They just showed up to debate, to question your worldview, to maybe teach you a little something. You were going to learn more at that. I'm talking to the black students at at TSU right now. I'm talking to the black students at JSU right now. You are going to learn more at that table with those 2 guys than you're going to learn at any class you have today. Did y'all know that the acceptance rate to TSU is like 92%? I mean, that means that they don't turn anybody away that wants to go to school there. I mean, it's pretty much a community college at this point. Nobody gets turned away. Can you pay? Come on in. Get what you're here for. We got more video though. Then I want to play.
All we did was set up a table.
There's this one really angry black girl that's following him around. She's kind of fat and she got way too much skin showing to be this big. But she's really, really upset about all this. For the sake of good radio, I won't play all of it. You can go to Instagram, and the account that all this unfolded on is called Fearless Debates. One word, at Fearless Debates. I'll drop the link into the live stream comments there. And I'm going to show you one more thing before I move from this. I want to show you, well, we could talk about this all morning, but what I want to show you real quick is Tennessee State. Now you've heard all of it. If you've been watching online, you've seen the reaction. Now let's show you Tennessee State's comments here, their press release. And wow, is all I got to say. The gaslighting, the coddling, the enabling is phenomenal at best. It says, Tennessee State University. Today, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. In accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advanced approval and permitting. That's fair. That's fair. A simple, hey guys, you can't be here would have sufficed. Continuing. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from the university grounds without incident. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. Now, you've seen the video evidence. It's phenomenal what they consider, what was the phrase? Professional and respectful manner. But again, these are the same people who thought burning the country down in the summer of 2020 was a mostly peaceful protest. Continuing, the safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff. Are faculty and staff not the same thing? They always say our faculty and staff. Is that not the same thing? Anyway, the safety of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TSU will continue to uphold university policies and ensure that the campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. Well, that is interesting, because that is not what I saw on that video. Not at all what I saw on that video. Let me clear my screen real quick. Let me pull the chats back over here. Let's see what folks in the online chat have to say. The Guns of Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Let me see here, man. I'm not getting my notifications on the text line. I can't fathom y'all ain't sent a text since Friday. Nah, there we go. For some reason, I'm not getting my notifications. That's interesting. Let's see here. Let's go to the live chat because I got it pulled up. Donna, watching on YouTube, most recent chat, says, no, it's not. Staff is the office staff, etc. They're letting me, people in the online chat are letting me know that staff is non-professors. I was on staff at Austin P, wasn't faculty. So what, faculty are professors, staff are, look, for us normies, staff and faculty mean the same thing. If you work at the school, you're staff, you're an employee. Faculty, staff, tomato. Jill on Facebook says, and what did the guys in the red hats really think was going to happen? Yes, the students' actions are disgusting. I would have thought that, though, before setting up a table. You got to know who you're dealing with. Well, look, it's called the Fearless Tour, the Fearless Debate Tour. And I'm a big fan of taking my thoughts and opinions to the people I'm talking about, not to the people who agree with me. For example, my Instagram account has 60-something thousand followers. And I would say that 50,000 of those are angry Black people that don't like me. And That's where I take my content to. I take it right there to my Instagram and I punch them right in the face with it, because I want the people I'm talking about to see what I'm saying about them. And it's why I'm one of the most recognized people in the state of Mississippi, especially in the Black community, because I am fearless when it comes to that. I don't want to preach to the choir. I don't want to preach to an echo chamber of people who agree with Clay Edwards. I appreciate y'all. I truly do. I'm glad to know that I'm not the only person out there that's with a sane thinking process. But I take my product to the people I'm talking about, to the knuckleheads out there, to the future rocket scientists, engineers, and astronauts, to the effed around and found out champions. I want them to see that I see them. We see y'all. I'm not going to coddle y'all like Tennessee State University did with their press release there. I'm going to tell you that you're screwed up. And I think more people need to do that. And you ought to be able to do that without the threat of absolute violence. But yeah, you do. I mean, you do have to know who you're dealing with. And they're dealing with a bunch of future rocket scientists, engineers, and astronauts who at some point in time will undoubtedly be a future effed around and found out grand champion. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
WYAB. This is the Clay Edwards Show.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got about a minute before our next break here, the top of the hour news break. I appreciate everybody chiming in this morning. The phone line, the text line, and the live chat are very, very active, and that always makes for a much, much better version of this show. So I appreciate everybody. Coming up in hour two, we're going to just dive into your text and chats, and I want to see what all you guys got to say about this. Also, I want to talk about a 66-year-old man, a concert worker in Kansas City, Missouri, who was ruthlessly beaten by a young Black teen at an NBA YoungBoy concert for no other reason than the fact that he was an elderly white man just trying to do his job, and asked the young man to leave, you guessed it, a seat that he wasn't ticketed to be sitting in. We're going to talk about that and more. And a Sanderson Farms weekend, we're going to be talking to the director of the tournament. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys. Let's see here. Let's jump into your comments. We got 7 minutes here, so there's no point making y'all sit around for 7 minutes without me. Hey, y'all like my new haircut? I'm taking it really, really short this time around. I done lost enough weight that I don't have to have extra hair to hide my fat. I'm digging it. I'm digging the high and tight, the scalping. All right, let's see here. We'll save the Guns and Gear text line until we get back on the radio, because those people are clearly watching, listening on the radio. Let's see. Lloyd says those guys were not part of the Turning Point organization. No, they weren't. They were not part of Turning Point, but they were doing the same thing. But they were not part of the Turning Point organization. They talked to no faculty or staff about coming to the campus, had no permits, and much of that situation could have been avoided if they had taken the time to do things the right way. Like, I don't disagree with any of that, but I can still say that two wrongs don't make a right. That the children there on campus, the petulant children that were being subjected to a worldview against their own, shouldn't have reacted like that. And I'll make an example, because the double standard is always at play here. Let's just pretend for a second that some Black activists, some BLM supporters, set up a table at Ole Miss or Mississippi State. And let's pretend that the Ole Miss frat boys decided to act the same way that the Blacks acted at Tennessee State. What do you think the national media, what do you think the narrative would be nationally right now in the media and online? Do you think that people would be saying, yeah, but they didn't have permits? Yeah, but they didn't do it the right way. Do you think that the school would come out and say that the students acted in a professional and courteous manner the entire time? Do y'all think that would be the reaction if the roles were reversed? If you do, I've got some oceanfront property in Jackson I need to sell you. Because you know damn well that that is not the reaction that would have happened nationally. You know, Matt Walsh has got a great post out that I got to find here during the break that I want to read in the top of the next hour about what the reaction would be nationally if all of this leftist violence that's been happening was right wing and if Democrats were in full control like Republicans are right now. If you think anything else would be the outcome other than all white male conservatives and the blacks that agree with us being on a train with a one-way ticket to a concentration camp, if you think anything other than that would be the answer, you are full of shit. Full of shit. They would have us on a train with a one-way ticket so fast to a concentration camp that we wouldn't be able to see straight. Now, that I'm not saying that we would go peacefully into the night. I'm just saying that's what they would try to do. And that's when they would be doing some effing and some A-ing and some effing and some O-ing. Somebody asked, do I have court today? No, man, that dumbass Fred Chambliss said what he should do is mind his own business. No, I don't have court today. They're going to drag that piece of shit that I had arrested into court from Whitfield, and they're going to tell him that it's been delayed until his felony indictment comes down. So no, I don't have court today. That's Fred not minding his own business, thinking he knows something. He just needs what Fred Chambliss needs to do is put on his umpire shirt, his Foot Locker employee shirt, and go watch his buddy Leon get found guilty and locked up today. Now, Leon got court today versus the city of Pearl. Leon getting locked up, I imagine, my assumption. I think I could speculate, look into the future, and speculate that Leon getting locked up today, but Clay doesn't have court. No, I spoke with the folks over there that are handling the case, and old dude that threatened me and my family, as his court date with me has been postponed, but he is still locked up. Now, he ain't locked up because of me. He's locked up for a multitude of other reasons. My misdemeanor charge is just one of them. It's just one of the things that he's having to deal with. So, yeah, I don't even, what's his name? Justin. I don't even remember his last name. Fowler, Justin Fowler. You know, and then look, y'all think I'm going to take these threats lying down, especially in the wake of Charlie Kirk? If anybody thinks they're going to, threaten my life or threaten physical harm on me, and I'm not going to press charges, you're batshit crazy. I'm going to make an example out of each and every person that threatens me or my family. And let Justin Fowler be example A of people who decided to fuck around and find out with Clay Edwards. We are not playing any of those games. Look, when a lefty, when a mentally deranged person tells you they're going to do something, you're an idiot if you don't believe them, because they believe it. I mean, look at the Charlie Kirk killer. Now I'm going to suspend all the bullshit, conspiracy theories and all that, and let's just take it at surface level that guy killed Charlie Kirk. That guy ain't no different than any average Joe walking up and down the streets in Mississippi. You know how many rednecks can make that same shot? Wake up, roll out of bed, and make that same shot. Just about everyone that goes hunting. My 23-year-old daughter has killed deers at longer distances. I mean, so there's nothing out of the ordinary about that kid that killed Charlie Kirk. And that's all the more reason why I take all these threats serious when I get them. If you threaten me, you better hope you got a layer of digital safety between me and you, that I can't find out who you are, because absolutely pressing charges. Absolutely pressing charges. All right, I got to be quiet. We're coming back from break.
Carry out and delivery by locally owned Take a Break Deliveries.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We have accomplished that.
And more testosterone for your morning drive.
But when you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a mother like that.
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster Clay Edwards.
Boom goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. It's the Clay Edwards Show, and I can count to 5 on my hands there if you're watching online. We are on 103.9 FM, WYB, and we are streaming worldwide in stunning HD as I wear one of the new FAFO shirts available now at buyfafo.com, at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, and X, and at Clay Edwards Show on Rumble. If you want to participate in the live chat, we are reading your chats during the breaks and during the show. And if you want to participate in the Guns and Gear text line, that number is 769-241-1944. Hey, you want to call in and be a part of the conversation. The Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. Coming up at 8:25, we're going to have the director of the Sanderson Farms Classic Golf Tournament call in, tell you about that this weekend for about 5 minutes, 10-minute interview there real quick. Man, couldn't ask for better weather. It's not supposed to rain this weekend, I don't think. I hadn't looked at the radar, but the temperatures have come down, so it's not going to be scorching hot. Don't they do, is it the same weekend as that? Don't they do the, no, that car show, that big car show in Madison's not till later in the month. It's the same. It's like the weekend before or weekend after Cruising the Coast. Anyway, they used to, I remember one time the big car show there in Madison and the golf tournament, I want to say were on the same weekend, but I guess they moved the golf tournament. Anyhow, real quick, this segment going to be brought to you by our friends over at 042 Wine and Spirits, located right next to Sonny's Barbecue on Highway 80 in Brandon. Man, swing by and grab a bottle of that Penelope Project X. They're the only store in Mississippi with it. You know how I know that? Because it's got their name on the bottle. That's right. The crew over there at 042, it's a private barrel just for those guys. It's so cool too, man. It's a jet black. It looks like a wine bottle. And it says Project X. It's just this like real simple white font on a jet black bottle. It looks really, really neat. I got it up on my bookshelf behind where I live stream at the house. I went and bought a bottle of it. I've had one little sip out of it because I'm currently kind of not drinking, not long term, but I'm just got a weight loss goal I'm trying to hit, and alcohol seems to derail me every time I try to do it. And I don't quit drinking. Funny how that works. But with that said, I did take a couple sips out of it, and it is fine. Yeah, if you're a bourbon connoisseur, a whiskey connoisseur, you need to swing by 042 Wine and Spirits. They've got a massive selection of hard to find small batch whiskeys and bourbons available. And of course, they got all your favorites: Crown Royal, Crown Apple, Crown Vanilla. They got all that. Look, don't let the whiskey snobs, the bourbon snobs shame you into not enjoying your Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, and Crown Royal or Heaven Hill or whatever it is you like. Y'all know me. I love Fireball, but I'll take a $100 shot of Pappy too. I can be white trash and high class all in one. Get you a guy that can do both, ladies. Get you a guy that can do both. I can drink Mick Ultra or Andy Gator. Get you a guy that can do both. I'm a chameleon of sorts. High class and white trash all rolled into one. Anyway, swing by, man. Get a bottle of whatever it is you like the most right there at 042 Wine and Spirits. And if you like Bloody Marys, grab a bottle of my buddy Fireman John's Bloody Mary Mix. He's from right here in Central Mississippi, retired fireman, and he's a Memphis in May world champion pork pork cook and barbecue sauce maker. And he took all that knowledge and put it into one of the best, if not the best, Bloody Mary mix I've ever had. Hey, you ain't even got to use it to make Bloody Marys. Use it to make party meatballs. Take the meatballs, put them in a crock pot, pour the bottle on top of it, and just let them soak for about an hour or so. And thank me later. It's available at 042 Wine and Spirits. All right, man, let's jump back into it, shall we? I got a text from Ashley during the break on the Guns and Gear text line. And so there was a post going around the internet yesterday from the Foot Locker Employees of the Month or Champ Sports Employees of the Month. Though I don't even like saying their names. They're just they're the two goofball whistleblowers around here. And so he says September 25th, 2025 is going to be a big day. Justin Fowler versus Clay Edwards and Leon Seals versus the Pearl Police Department. Well, the Clay Edwards versus Justin Fowler ain't today. I would know. I'm the Clay Edwards part of that scenario. They have no court date today. They're willing Justin's crazy ass over from Whitfield to tell him that it's been postponed, but he'll get out of his padded room for a little bit to see the outside world and to see that he's going to be in there a little bit longer. Hey, look, man. And then Leon Seals versus the Pearl Police Department. Look, if you've seen that video that Leon claimed he got assaulted by the Pearl Police Department, he 100% lied. And here's the deal. I think Leon's a crazy person, and I think he needs to be taken very seriously. I think Justin's a crazy person. He needs to be taken very seriously. And I think the other clown in the bunch that made that post is just stupid. I don't think he's crazy. I just think he's stupid. I mean, you just can't put a price tag on stupidity. You got to earn it. And he has absolutely earned it. He's just slow, just stupid. I mean, a retard of sorts, even. And, as far as Justin goes and why I file charges on Justin, I take death threats and physical threats very seriously. And in the wake of what happened to Charlie Kirk, y'all see why I take these threats very seriously. And I just talked about this during the online break or during the commercial break. So the online audience has already heard this, but there's a reason why I take death threats and threats very seriously. When people are mentally unstable and they threaten your life, you got to take that serious. There's no difference in Justin Fowler, the guy that threatened me, and the guy that killed Charlie Kirk. There's nothing special about the guy that's killed Charlie Kirk. And I'm not going to dive into any of y'all's conspiracy theories about Mossad and planes flying over and special hand signs. I'm not getting into any of that with y'all. I'm taking this at face value, and Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. That's where I'm at with it. You can believe whatever you want, but for the sake of this conversation, Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. There's a million Tyler Robinsons that you pass every day in your day-to-day life. There's nothing special that separates that kid and his ability to make that shot than any other redneck with a gun in Mississippi. My 23-year-old daughter has killed deer at further than 200 yards. My 25-year-old daughter, 26, has killed deer at further than 200 yards. And they're not, they're just part-time hunters. It ain't something they even take that serious. Most anybody that can shoot can make that same shot. It's nothing special about that shot at 200 yards, except the fact that the target he hit was a human's neck or head, for the lack of a better term. It's disgusting. It's sickening. And I absolutely take these threats very seriously, because the people over the 5 years that I've been doing this, the people who have come at me the hardest, threatened me the most, they've all ended up in jail for one thing or another. Polo, he killed a man. Justin Fowler in jail for other stuff, but in jail nonetheless. The gay black guy, Tasty. God, I hate even saying his name. It's like saying Candyman's name 3 times, or Beetlejuice, and he just comes up. He's in jail for beating his grandmother my understanding, I mean, they allegedly, but my understanding is he got sentenced. He's out in Hines County for beating his grandmother up. Allegedly. I mean, these are mentally unwell people. You know, guys, I have friends in the police departments around here. Just the day after Charlie Kirk got killed, I was doing this show. It was a Thursday. It's the day I interviewed Jenny Lukens. I got done and I got a phone call from somebody with a law enforcement department in Rankin County. And they told me, hey, I think I've told y'all this, but they told me, hey, we just arrested this dude and he's got video of you on his phone. And this is a bad guy. Just a thug. Man, he's got video of you on his phone getting in and out of your truck at a grocery store. Just giving you a heads up. Rankin County ain't quite as safe as you may think it is. He said, they're looking at you out here too. I was like, all right, thanks. And it ain't the first time I've gotten that call either, by the way, that they have found my images of me on these dope boys and thugs phones. So my point being, I take all this stuff very seriously. And I'm very, very protective about where I go. I'm very situationally aware. If you see me, just know that I'm ready, so I ain't got to get ready. You know, if you want to fa-fo, I dare you. Yeah, I guess that would be my point. So I take them very seriously. But anyway, that goofy bastard, I didn't mean to cuss, that goofy guy that wears the umpire jerseys, looking like the Foot Locker employee of the month, you know, thinking he knows my business, thinking I had court today in that deal. Do not have court today. That is misinformation and fake news being spread around by the Foot Locker employee of the month. But old Leon's got court today versus the city of Pearl for lying about being assaulted. And they didn't put it in county court. They did city court, or whatever it's called. I don't know all the different courts, but it's today. And I fully expect Leon to be found guilty and to get sentenced to 6 months. He's got himself arrested like 3 times in one day. 3 times in one day. And he accused Officer Lentz of attacking him. You know, justice for Officer Lentz there in Pearl. And I know a lot of y'all have a problem with the police. They're too strict. They're too this. Man, they gotta be. Y'all just don't understand it. And I'm talking to the people out there who moan, cry, and complain about getting a ticket for speeding, running a red light, some minor stuff. And I get it. It's frustrating. It's a pain in the butt to deal with. I don't like it. But you don't understand the thin line between chaos and an organized society, between anarchy and everyday life. It is paper thin. Just look at Jackson, where they lost control, where they ceded control just a little bit to the thugs over a few years. And look what happened. It became the murder capital of America 5 out of the last 6 years, 4 out of the last 5 years, whatever it is. Then just look right across the river in Flowood and Pearl at how overwhelmingly safe they are in comparison. I'm not saying crime doesn't happen there, but when crime happens, what happens? They F around, they find out, they get arrested, they get sent to jail. It ain't catch and release. You gotta keep your foot down on the necks of this trash. If that means that good people have to deal with a little inconvenience every now and then that just means good people have to deal with the inconvenience every now and then. It's what you signed up for when you chose to live in a safe enclave like Pearl, Brandon, Madison, Ridgeland. I mean, look, a lot of stuff happens in Ridgeland, but it ain't because Ridgeland police ain't doing their ever-loving best to prevent it from happening. But they border up against Jackson. Any city that borders Jackson and is able to keep it together, Clinton. We don't talk about Clinton enough. And I say that every time we talk about Clinton. We don't talk about them enough, and that's a good thing. You know why we don't talk about Clinton a lot? Because they do such a good job of keeping the devil at bay, at keeping Jackson out of Clinton. It's why I fight so hard about this school choice stuff. And I'm still just boondoggled at the fact that these conservative think tankers are trying to force school choice on us so they can push their charter schools in. If you want charter school, look, I'm pro charter school. I'm pro if a private school wants to accept the federal regulations that come with taking federal money, I'm fine with you using your money, the money following the kid to the private school. Have no problem. I support that. I do not support public to public because the Democrats refer to it as the Michigan problem. They have a Michigan problem. It means they're Muslim problem. That's why they didn't put Shapiro, the Jew, on the ticket for vice president. They have a Michigan problem. Because they lost Michigan anyway, so they probably should have just taken Shapiro on the ticket. But I digress. We have a Jackson problem in Mississippi, in central Mississippi. Nobody around here wants the students from those broken, culture-rotten homes of Jackson coming and bringing that cancer to the schools around here. So that is why anybody you meet on the streets that's aware of what's going on is against school choice. They're going to sabotage their school choice by trying to force the public to public aspect of that. And you can ask dude, I have yet to meet a single politician in the Tri-County area that is pro school choice, with the exception of Hearst. And I don't, whatever. I love them to death. I love Celeste. I love Mike. They're just wrong on this. And I don't know any other way to say it. Just wrong. The only people, and because these politicians, they know that if they vote for school choice, they're probably not going to get their seat back. People are not going to forgive them for welcoming Jackson in to the suburbs. We got to take a break. I ran over. We'll be right back. Caller, I apologize for not answering. Call back. I'll put you on hold. We'll come back to you on the other side of the break. Stay on hold. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back.
Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. This is the Clay Edwards Show.
Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, live here on the WYAB, streaming worldwide at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. I'm reading some text here real quick. Hey guys, have you been out to Cypress Point lately? You hadn't. What about Cameron's Garage right next door? You hadn't. You should. Hey, be paying attention. Make sure you're following them on Facebook at Cypress Point Resort. They got their huge pumpkin patch deal coming up, where you can bring the kids out, you get a pumpkin, you carve it, you do all that fun stuff. It's huge. It's a big event out there. It's going to be family friendly as always. Of course, it's family friendly out there every day if you're out there during the daytime. And they've got the drive-through safari. They got the petting zoo. All that great stuff it's not only still there, it's better than it's ever been out there at Cypress Point Resort. That's formerly McLean's Lodge. It's been Cypress Point for over a year now. So we're just going to call it Cypress Point. We're not going to be doing formerly McLean's. You know where it is at this point. It is phenomenal out there. They got a phenomenal blue plate lunch 5 days a week. They've got the steakhouse, the tavern, which is attached to the steakhouse. And man, it is like, it's like you're not in Mississippi when you go in this thing. Or maybe it is like Mississippi. I don't know. It's like a hunting lodge. It's this long, the tavern's this long, kind of narrow room, and it's got a bar that runs all the way down it with just this wall of whiskey and bourbons and liquors. I've never seen anything like it. It's a sight to behold. It's really underrated as one of the best bourbon bars and whiskey bars in the state of Mississippi, in my opinion. And of course, you can get the steaks and their famous lamb chop lollipops. Oh, the lamb chop lollipops are so good. Hey, say you're over at Cameron's Garage. You've been drinking a little too much. Don't need to drive. Don't want to spend the money on an Uber. Did you know that you can rent a cabin there on site? I think you can rent it up to like midnight and just go back to the back and crash in a cabin for about the price of an Uber. That's right. So many options available over there at Cypress Point Resort. It's called a resort for a reason, You can pull up and you can stay the entire weekend and never have to leave the facility. They got a general store, a butcher shop, a steakhouse. They sell pizza late. They got the Hunt Brothers pizza that everybody loves so much at the gas stations. They sell that there at Cypress Point Resort, along with all their great food options. The Cameron's Garage is the largest open-air sports bar in Mississippi, as far as I know, but definitely in the Tri-County area. It feels great. They got tons of fans pushing the air around, so it's never too hot. They got live music all the time. It's where you want to be in Rankin County. Cypress Point Resort, Cameron's Garage. Don't meet me there, beat me there. And every Tuesday and Friday, the ribeye steak sandwich is the Blue Plate special. And you know I've been talking about it so much. I post pictures of it all the time. I went and got one the other day, split it with a friend. I actually put my money where my mouth was and didn't eat the whole thing for once. I keep telling you, you can split it. They're so big. That's exactly what I did, was split it. All right, look, I think we have a caller on hold, and I think this is our buddy with Sanderson Farms. Hey, you're on there?
Hey, it's Steve Gent. How are you?
Hey, Steve. How you doing, brother? Sorry about that. I should have talked to you during the break there, but I had so much going on. I got a little distracted. We got Steve Gent here with the Sanderson Farm Classic. Steve, how's it going, man?
Going good. It's going good. Advanced week for us this week. So we've got a lot of vendors and kind of final preparations taking place this week. So we've got a little rain out of the way now, and I think it's going to be great.
So is the event this weekend?
No, it's next week. So we've got a couple pro-ams to start the week. Cryovac program on Monday, and our Lyle Machinery program on Wednesday, and then competition rounds for the pros start Thursday the 2nd.
Man, so, I've been to that event, I think twice over the last, say, 10 years. And it is such a beautiful event out there, just walking the course and seeing what you guys do at that place. Of course, it's a beautiful facility year round, but when you guys come in and crank it up for the Classic, it is just amazing what goes on out there. And it really is a world-class event. It's the only, it's the only PGA golf tournament in the state of Mississippi still.
Right. Yeah. We like to say it's the only major league professional sports event in the state. Obviously the only PGA Tour event. And thank you for that. I've got a staff of 7 and a whole team of 1,000 plus volunteers that work really hard to make that week special for everybody. And the PGA Tour is, it's kind of they follow the sun as a little bit of a tent city. They pull up stakes in one city and go someplace the next week. But we've actually been hard at work since the first week in August, getting everything set up. So it's about a 2-month, 6 to 8 week build frame, and really pleased with how everything looks out there right now.
Man, just the logistics of putting an event on like that. I used to own nightclubs and would do big outdoor concerts and stuff of that nature. And the logistics of putting on a big event like I did, expecting, say, 5,000 to 10,000 people. I know the work that goes into that, the months of preparation and lining everything up from staging to barricade to all of that, and make sure you got enough beer for everybody. And I can't fathom, how many people do y'all expect to come through the gates this year?
Well, about every few years we do an economic impact study. So the folks at Mississippi State estimated that we've got about 30,000 throughout the week. That's probably concentrated on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, it takes an entire year to kind of, we'll take a little bit of time to tear everything down and get everything back in order. And then we start right again, probably in November, planning for next year. We talk about what we want to change. And then, the sales and the operations planning and the volunteer recruitment, it all starts right away for the next year. So it's a lot of our friends think we only work 1 week out of the year, but I promise you it's more than that.
So how can people get tickets for the event?
Everything you need to know about the event is on our website, which is SandersonFarmsChampionship.com. So there's a link there for tickets through the Ticketmaster system. Yep, absolutely. Wednesday, the course is closed on Monday and Tuesday to the general public, but Wednesday is free, but you still have to have a ticket to scan. And then kids 17 under get in free with a ticketed adult. And we also have tickets available on the website. We want to honor our military and our first responders. So there's a link to a ticket for a military, retired, reserve, veteran, active members of the military plus 3 family members. So we make it pretty affordable and easy for everybody to come out. Parking is included in your ticket. and general public parking's at North Park Mall. And yeah, everything you need to know is right there on the website.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, was parking. I remember when the last time I went, we parked at North Park and shuttled. There's constant shuttle buses running back and forth. So it's easy to get in and out. You don't have to worry about trying to get into the neighborhood there and get parked. The public parking's off site, real easy to do. It's a great event, and we're excited to have it back in the area. If people on the website, if people want to buy an upgraded ticket, or the VIP package is available where they can get into the tents and all of that stuff?
There are still a few available. So our Michelob Ultra Fan Pavilion on 12 is an upgraded ticket. You get into it's kind of entry level hospitality. So I think it's a $15 upgrade to get in there, and then you still have to pay for your food and beverage there, but at least you have access to a great spot. I believe we still have a few spots left in our trophy club, but they're going fast. So pretty much everything on 18, our skyboxes and everything are sold out.
You know, those are the see and be seen places to be at these events. I know I was working for a car dealership at one time that was a big sponsor the last time I went. So we got to have some really good tickets to get in and kind of do all of that. And that experience is second to none. If you get to do it, I highly recommend, don't pass up those tickets.
Yeah, there's some pretty good spots. We've got some, plan on selling or serving some great food, a lot of chicken dishes, and it'll be a fun week for everybody to come out.
Yeah, I think I need to call my buddies over at Southern Beverage and see if I can bum some tickets from them.
They'll have a few.
All right, brother. Got anything else you want to plug, Steve?
No, I mean, I think we're excited about the week. The field is shaping up nicely. 132 of the best players in the world. We've got some great Mississippi connections in terms of Chad Ramey, Hayden Buckley, Davis Riley are in the field. Jackson Suber and Braden Thornberry are there also. We've got past champs. So Kevin Hughes obviously going to defend. You've got Luke Liss, Mackenzie Hughes, Peter Malnati in the field. And you got some other great players, Max Homa, Adam Hadwin, Zach Johnson, and Keith Mitchell. It's going to be, I get tired to tell everybody, it's 132 of the best players in the world, and the best professional golf in the world is played in Jackson, Mississippi next week. So
and it's
looking good.
Sorry, go ahead.
We try to make it easy for everybody to come out. It's a great course to walk, and we're looking to see how much money we can raise for Mississippi charities this year.
And it does broadcast all week on the Golf Network, the PGA Network.
Yeah, Golf Channel, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 to 6 each day. And there's also PGA Tour live streaming on ESPN.com. ESPN Plus.
Good stuff. And what's the website again?
SandersonFarmsChampionship.com.
Nice. Steve Gent, Sanderson Farms Championship next weekend, or next week, should I say, right there at the Country Club of Jackson. We appreciate you, brother.
All right. We appreciate it, Clay. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Be blessed.
Bye.
That's a great event to get out to. Highly recommend it if you don't even have to be a big golf fan to go enjoy that. Like I said, I've done it a couple years. I'm not a big golf guy, but it is just the experience of all of it, all the people. It's like honestly, it's like going to a big music festival, kind of without the music. There's a huge crowds of people moving around and stuff. Beer available all over the place. I mean, it's just a fun event that I think everybody should go and experience at least once. And it's next weekend. You got all the big football games this weekend. Go enjoy those. You got LSU at Ole Miss. You've got Tennessee at Mississippi State this weekend. Get out, enjoy those games at one of our great sponsors. And then next weekend, go enjoy the Sanderson Farms Championship right here in Jackson. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, I don't think y'all understand how big of a deal them getting that PGA Tour Championship, that tournament in Central Mississippi is. We almost lost it, and they moved it over to the Country Club of Jackson. But with all the money down on the coast, with all the money at the casino course there in Philadelphia, all that casino money, for them to be able to hold that thing in Jackson, thanks to Sanderson Farms, it's a big, big deal. And kudos to Sanderson Farms for Mr. Sanderson that made all that happen and putting that money in it. And I know that he no longer owns Sanderson Farms. He's got his own thing now or whatnot. But I'm glad that they've kept it in Central Mississippi, because I was worried when Sanderson Farms sold. I was worried if we were going to lose the tournament, and they've kept it here so far. Get out and support it so they continue to keep it here. We'll be right back after this break.
Reset for your body and skin? At Core Wellness and Recovery, you'll find next level services like cryotherapy, red light therapy, infrared sauna, body sculpting, and advanced facials. Whether you want to boost performance, recover faster, or just feel your best, Core Wellness and Recovery delivers real results with zero downtime. From muscle relief to radiant skin, this is self-care redefined. Come experience the future of wellness, Core Wellness and Recovery, just off Highland Colony in Ridgeland. Book now at corewellnessandrecovery.com.
Broadcasting live from the Men's Health and Women's Wealth of Mississippi studios. This is the Clay Edwards Show.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. You're live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Core Wellness and Therapy. You just heard the commercial right there. Guys, I'm telling you what, I am due a metabolism boost IV. I forgot the mega metabolism. It is phenomenal. You just get it. It's an IV. They put it in. It's a bag, and it drips down into you. And it is like 3 or 4 days of energy and good sleep. I wish I could afford to get one about every 4 days. I would. Not once a week, every 4 days. It makes you feel so good. They have so many different IV treatments there, something for everybody. If you're not taking some form of NAD plus, you definitely need to be looking at NAD plus. I take a liquid version of it every day that I get from my buddy Clayton Pitts over there at Prehab Chiropractor behind Primo's on Lakeland Drive. Little free plug for those guys. They sell that RHO brand of supplements that I'm a huge fan of. I get my creatine, I get all that over there. But I say that to say they offer the NAD in the IV for you, and it is the best way to consume NAD into your body. You need to be looking at that. Talk to the nurses and to the staff over there about NAD and the benefits it has on you. They have the infrared sauna, they have the hyperbaric chamber, they have the dry cold plunge. You get into it with your clothes on. You don't even have to get naked, or you don't have to get into a tub of ice to do it. It is this bed. They get in, they wrap basically a water-filled sheet around you, and that water is ice cold. And you try to stay in it for up to 8 minutes, and it's the equivalent of doing the cryo chamber or doing an ice bath. And the effects are phenomenal for recovery, soreness, healing, all of that. I do the red light therapy, and then I jump in there. I do 15 minutes in the red light, no, 12 minutes in the red light, and then I do 8 minutes in the dry cold plunge. And then I do the leg compression boots, the lymphatic drainage boots, for about 30 minutes with the oxygen bar. And I walk out of there feeling like a new man every day. And then I go work out for 2 hours. At 48 years old, it is allowing me to work out like I'm a 25-year-old doing the recovery stuff over there. I took about a week or so off from it, and I can absolutely tell that I took that week off, which makes me an even bigger believer in what the treatments they offer at Core Wellness and Therapy right there at the township on Highland Colony. Swing by, tell them Clay sent you. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Good morning, you're on there.
Oh, no, this is Keith. Oh, no, I'm not in jail.
Oh God. That was the old stalker. Can't stand that guy. Well, last I heard, he was in jail. That's why I said allegedly. But with that kind of behavior and activity, I'm sure he'll be back out there at some point. Crazy people, man. So I say, look, we attract them here. We attract them like moths to a flame. We attract crazy people. I don't understand it. I don't listen to things I don't like. Instead of being stressed out about stuff I don't like, I just ignore it. Like for instance, the MAGA students, the MAGA debate guys at TSU. If I had seen some equivalent of that somewhere, I would have just strolled on by. I'm like, not for me. But these folks that disagree, like I said, the left has pumped this stuff into these people's brains that if you disagree with them, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe, and you're all these things. And you know what? Who cares if you are? At the end of the day, who cares if somebody is any of those things? As long as they're not trying to physically assault you, or they're not, keeping you from getting a job, who cares? How does that affect your day-to-day life if somebody is any of those things? Just don't give them the oxygen of caring. But these people have convinced the media and the Democrats have convinced these left-wing nut jobs that anybody who disagrees with them also wants them dead. And that's just not the case. But what it does is it makes them want to kill us. I mean, that crazy guy that called in just then, he has shown up to my place of employment before. He has sent and posted multiple death threats. Again, I take all these things extremely serious because it takes a mentally unhinged individual to do any of those things. There's something not right with you if you do any of those things based on somebody else's political beliefs that truly have nothing to do with you. You know how you make somebody a racist, a transphobe, a homophobe? You know, you make somebody not like you. You be all those things that you claim that they hate, and you act like that. It definitely makes people start to side eye anybody that is any of those things. It truly does. Like I've been saying for the longest time now, everybody talks about there's a rise in racism and all of this stuff. And I'm just going to ask a question. Is there a portion of the Black community that maybe thinks to themselves, we might have something to do with the reason people don't like us? That people don't want to be around us? Could any of the behavior and the culture rot that we've displayed in our communities, could that have anything to do why there's a rise in people not wanting to be around us? And I just always go back to the accountability side of it for me. But there's this zero accountability. There's just if you sit there and say, you know what, I want to separate myself from anybody that I just don't feel safe around. It can't be just because you don't feel safe around them. It has to be, oh, you're a racist. You don't like Black people. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I just said, I don't feel safe around a particular segment of the Black population. And that's facts. And the numbers back that up. Nobody should. They shouldn't feel safe around themselves. If you look at the statistics in cities like Jackson, it's not racist that I don't want to be around that and put myself at danger. It's just situational awareness. And situational awareness is not racist. It's like trans people with guns. Don't want to be around a white trans person with a gun. Their track record right now ain't too stellar. I don't trust that. Don't want to be around that. Let's take a break, come back, land the plane for the day. Online audience, don't go nowhere. I'm going to stick with y'all for just a minute as we wrap it up. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. All right, guys. Been a fun show today. I hate that we woke that crazy bastard up. Like I said, like Candyman, like Beetlejuice. You say his name and he appears. He's crazy, man. I might have to. I've got charges for if he comes to Rankin County, he's going to jail. There's a warrant for his arrest out there for showing up at my employment a few years ago and making death threats. These people are unhinged and they wonder why people don't want to be around them. That's why. That's why we don't want to be around y'all. Just mentally unhinged. Let's see here. Stickard says, great show today, Clay. You are the head cracker in charge. Y'all come to Martin's Livingston today and grab some lunch, sit at the bar, and let me pour you up a cold beer and make you a Bloody Mary or something. Yeah, y'all go see my boy there at the bar today at Martin's Livingston. Enjoy a cold drink. Enjoy a good blue plate special. What's the blue plate today over there at Martin's, my brother? What is the blue plate at Martin's today? The blue plate at McBee's, let me tell you about that real quick before I let y'all go. The blue plate at McBee's today is spaghetti. Swing by, grab the red sauce spaghetti if you're over at McBee's. Be sure to check out Burgers Blues Barbecue, all 3 great locations there. They got all their blue plate special today, or grab one of their award-winning burgers. We didn't talk as much about food today. We promote our food sponsors so much over here every day because, you can go eat food every day. Oh, yeah, man, it's pot roast today at Martin's. Man, the pot roast is awesome. It's not a Mississippi pot roast, but it's a pot roast, and it's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Check them out today. Tell them Clay sent you. Let me read this one last text here, or chat from Donna on YouTube. Says, I've had to learn to be that way since my husband passed. Always keep to myself, yet a few people try to make my life miserable. I just keep saying God is bigger than this situation. Yeah, Donna, you really do have to be like that sometimes. Let me just, how much time do I have? All right, I got a couple minutes here before I got to let you go. Bob says he wish you'd have let him talk more. Man, you can't, because he's a nut job and he goes straight to cussing and all of that. And we do have FCC bylaws and stuff that we have to follow. And we're responsible for callers that call. Just like that crazy girl, Natalie. She calls 82 times a day. And I just refuse to answer because she wants to get in here and drop as many F-bombs as she can before I can hang up on her. And I just can't run the risk of that happening. Baby Doll says that's definitely stalkerish behavior. Oh, it's 100% stalkerish behavior. Like I said, man, I would absolutely be lying to y'all if I said these people don't make me nervous. They absolutely make me nervous. I keep my head on a swivel. All right, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be blessed. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be blessed. Peace.